Hey, mates, welcome once again into the Little Dum Dum Club for another week. Thank you very much for joining us. My name is Tommy Dasilo, and with me, as always, the other half of the program, Carl Chandler.
G'day, dickheads.
And joining us today, we have two very special guests. Please welcome back into the show, Danielle Walker and Chen.
Yeah.
Hello.
Hey.
Chen with a
welcome
freshly
back.
shaved head. Nice to see a bit more bald representation on this show. We love to see it. The Chrome Domes out there have been crying out for another one of us to join the ranks. Welcome, brother.
Chenny,
really good stuff.
Chenny,
Yeah.
Chenny, last night you told me, I was talking to you and you said, I shaved my head. I said, how you been going in lockdown? And you said, I shaved my head. And I just thought you were like hanging shit on the people out there that lose their minds in lockdown and shave their head. I'm like, yeah, good one. Now I dyed my hair. Yeah, I'm a fuckhead too. Ha. It's like, oh no. And now I realise you have lost your mind. So sorry about that from last night.
Yeah, don't make fun of mental health. No, I did shave my head. It's liberating. It's a good feeling, Tommy, don't you reckon?
Not really. I mean, looking at you, because you're on, as we're recording this, you're on the TV tonight and seeing the promo pics for it. You got that beautiful, look, Aaron, I don't even want to tell you what I would do to have a head of hair like what you shaved off it. It fucking hurts to see,
like
honestly.
you have on TV. Yeah.
I'll tell you what I did to have a head of hair like yours. I just shaved it.
Yeah, but you're a tourist, mate. I've got to do this forever. I've got to use the home forever, clogging up the sink. Then it's like down the back of your neck for the rest of the day. God, it is fucking awful. Sorry, Danielle, you've also shaved your head. We should point out. We've got Sinead O'Connor in the bottom left window. It's it's really good.
What is it? What is it about improving your mental health like that? Why is all the craziness in people's hair? Why is it that easy just to get rid of it? Hey, just shave your head and then boom, it's all gone. You're all good again.
Did it feel like
Is it that people are all good? I think they're temporarily good because.
Yeah, no, I don't believe it at all.
It's not like the psychologist prescribing you to shave your head.
Yeah. It's the reason why there's a psychologist and not just a barber. Yeah, I understand that.
It's interesting though, why does the human brain, because we saw it so much in the last year, in adverse conditions, why does the human brain make you go, I've got to fuck with my appearance in some way? You see it on a small scale, like in a breakup, but when the chips are down, human beings are compelled to just fuck with their appearance in some way. What is it?
Yeah.
Why are we driven to that?
Did it start with Britney, or was she just part of what it's been like since man began?
She's the most famous one for sure. She really popularized it.
Is it just because you're at home more and there's mirrors at home? Like you're more likely to see yourself in a mirror and you just decide to change
Hate it?
Yeah.
Right.
So it's like I can't change the environment, but I can change what I'm seeing on the reflective surfaces in the house. It's like a holiday.
Also, I like how we're discussing why Chenny did what he did without actually asking him.
Did you feel better after you did it? Did it feel like a calming thing, like having the razor go through it?
Well, it wasn't mental health. I look down on anyone who has any type of depression or anxiety or anything like that. I did it in support of the Taliban.
Oh, right. Yeah, they're doing it tough.
Did you treat your hair like the US troops? It just absolutely go, you're out of here, boys.
Yeah, we're gone. It was an evacuation. No, I don't know. It was just annoying me, the hair. It was more a physical health thing because it was getting in my eyes and stuff, and people were looking at me like I was crazed and stuff like that.
Right. So you didn't get out the razor and go, it's either the hair or the wrists.
No.
Well, yeah, it looks beautiful. Well done, Chen.
Yeah, looks smooth. I'm jealous.
Thanks.
Looks just easier. Why don't we all do it now? Half of you guys have already done it.
Yeah.
Danielle, what do you think?
Not for me, thank you.
Right.
I did get an audition once where they said I'd have to shave my head and I'd have to be like a mean prison lady who was like wanting to bash everyone. And the audition was just horrible because I couldn't actually be mean. It just sounded like a joke the whole time. So I was just like, "I'll get you, girls. I'll
Yeah.
bash you in the courtyard." It just didn't
You couldn't
sound
pull it
right.
off. You had too much hair. Exactly.
Yeah.
So you didn't get that role? No, like.
Matt, what
No.
would happen if you shaved your head for the audition?
Yeah, that's what I
to
thought
put
you
them in a
meant.
tough spot.
Yeah.
Oh no. They just said I would have to do it, but I didn't. And I did horrible in the audition because I sounded too nice. And I kept telling the lady I was acting with that she was a really good actress. Like, I kept being like, "You're really good."
But you did it in character. They would have loved that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nothing comes off like a mean prison woman than compliments. That's the
Yeah.
way to win that role.
I couldn't believe it. Her eyes were like hard. Like I could tell she was like actually mean. Like the character.
Yeah, maybe she was just a cunt and not actually a good actor in any way.
Yeah. That maybe I was just believing the best in her, that she was just putting it on.
Yeah,
I bet someone did actually shave their head for that audition. I'd love to see like
Yeah.
be led into the library because they always tape you in those auditions just for that so they can show the client. I'd love to see like the master library of like all the embarrassing tapes they have of people and like the dumb shit they've done in auditions and people that come in for an ad and they've just drastically altered their appearance, going like, "I need this BP commercial more than I've ever needed anything."
Yeah, they've gone in. They've
shaved
got
my head for the audition, and that's why I got it and Danielle didn't.
So you're now playing Queen Bee in the new Prisoner.
Yeah.
reboot.
Yeah.
So great.
The biggest bitch on Cell Block H, Aaron Chen. Here she comes, everybody.
And I heard Chenny's a lesbian as well. Wow, check it out.
I'm haunted by an audition I did. I think I've spoken about it on the show before, but I went in and they were. I can't even remember what it was. It was an ad, but I can't remember specifically what the ad was for. But it was like the amount of shit they got me to do. I felt like I was in there for about 4 hours, where they're like, now run around the room like you're a gorilla. And so I'm just doing that. Like I'm kind of, I'm just like galloping around the room, like grunting and stuff. And then I do that. They just let me do that for like 5 minutes without cutting in and saying good job or anything like that. And then they're like, so, okay, now tell us what you did on the weekend. And I go, I went to a party and I saw a friend. And the lady goes, gorillas can't talk. So then I'm having to like, so the game was describe what you did over the weekend as a wordless gorilla. And and I just remember doing it and then like staring into the barrel of the camera and just knowing like this tape is going to be out there forever, probably like a master reel at the like Christmas party or whatever. And I'm haunted about it. I need to do some like Breaking Bad shit where I turn up to the casting agents with a big magnet in a van and just wipe the tape or something.
Yeah, you regret it because it was convincing. Because I mean, you jerked off into your hand and then you threw it at the auditioner.
Must have been some party.
Yeah,
I didn't know that there was auditions for documentaries.
Yeah, how was Diane Fossey to audition to? Was she good?
But yeah, fucking nightmare. Have you done any bad auditions, Chenny? I heard you're offer only up there in Sydney. That's what they say about you.
Oh, offer only,
No.
is that the term?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not offer only. I do every single audition that they ask me to, and everyone is humiliating. I don't know. It is just so embarrassing because it's like,
Isn't it? I don't do them anymore because it just makes me feel fucking like a child, like a fucking idiot, like someone who. Well, it just makes me feel like I don't know what I'm doing, which I don't. Which is why I'm like, yep, I get it. I'm not going to get the role. I'm just going to feel worse about this. So I'm just going to not get it.
Yeah.
yeah. I feel like sometimes they just bring comedians in to let them know that acting is actually a different thing.
Yeah.
Right. To prove a point.
Just, right, to set the low bar. Yeah. They're kind of worse now because you have to do them at home and you and like tape yourself and send them in. And you would think that would be less embarrassing because you're not in the room with strangers. But it's somehow worse because you've got to get like a partner or a housemate to like film it for
By the
you,
way,
help you with it.
Very, very conspicuously quiet on this subject of being a loser at auditions is Danielle Walker, who's currently on a national campaign on TV at the moment, who's just sitting there quietly judging us going, you fucking amateurs.
Why don't you just try getting the roles? It's easy, guys.
Yeah.
No, I've done bad. I did one recently in the lockdown that was real. I tried real hard because it was for a farmer. And I was like, oh, I can be a farmer.
Right.
And like I was supposed to be fixing a fence while I was doing the ad. And luckily I've got heaps of wire around the house for fixing stuff around the house.
Yeah.
And so I set up 2 chairs and then like built a fence between the 2 chairs so that I could actually be doing the sheet shank in the fence that they wanted you to do.
Wow.
And I was doing wire work for the audition, and then that made me feel quite bad when I didn't get that because I'd spent so much time building my own fence.
You'd constructed a set. You'd made a set. You'd put on your own little play in the house.
Yeah, and then you hadn't got the role, and then you couldn't even get out of your own house because your fence was too good.
The 7-Eleven ad that Nick Capper is in at the moment, I auditioned for that, and it was like there's 2 roles in it. And they sent the thing out.
A bit of jealousy.
Yeah. Sounds like someone didn't stink enough for the part. You didn't commit.
I mean, not getting the ad is one thing, but losing out to Nick Capper is fucking a brutal pill to have to swallow.
Yeah.
But there's 2 characters in it, and in the brief they were like, "Oh, we're not casting for it's like just send a tape in, and you're not auditioning for any like one specific one. Like they're kind of interchangeable." So I thought, to kind of, because you've got to film them yourself and you got to kind of make it look good. I thought what I would do is I just filmed myself doing both roles, like interacting with each other. So I'd do like one part and then I changed clothes and I did the other part, like looking at myself, like I'm on TikTok doing a little sketch and cut it together. And this took me an entire day of filming like a conversation with myself. I sent it off, and then to not get it after doing that, the thing that makes you feel fucking insane was just so devastating.
Can we see it?
Yeah, I can put it up. Yeah, I'll put it up.
Tommy, I've got to tell you something that's going to make you potentially feel worse, which is the 7-Eleven ads were directed by the same director who did the eBay ads I'm in, and I was in the middle of nowhere when I auditioned for the eBay ads, and so I did also do both characters.
Yep.
And I got that. So,
great. Yeah.
Great.
And also, I know
really
that
bad job.
I know that director too. Like he directed the Commonwealth Bank ads that I was in a few years ago, and he like specifically asked for me to send something in for that 7-Eleven thing. So to not get it when the guy has like requested you audition is even more devastating.
Also, I like his audition was like he did it through a selfie cam, but he had the camera the wrong way the whole time.
But he was in a 7-Eleven when he did it, so they were like, "Well, this guy gets it. He's familiar with the product."
Yeah. Also, I like how Daslo's still hanging on to this one. This is a director who had me in the ad a few years ago. When was that ad, Daslo? I reckon it was 10 years ago.
The London Olympics, whenever they were. Was that 2 weeks ago?
The first one or the second one?
The London ones?
Did
they just wrap up like the other week?
The Athens one?
There was an
the Athens one? The first Athens one?
Olympics recently, yeah.
Well, Chenny, what about this? So I was talking to you last night and I was like trying to figure out what you were doing, what you'd been up to, and like you said you shaved your head. I took the piss out. I didn't think it was real. And then you said you can talk about Vaccination, which again I thought, well, here's another classic bit of comedy from Aaron Chen. He's a known anti-vaxxer, as if he wants to talk about that.
Well, that's like the only 2 things that I've done this lockdown is shave my head and get one of the jabs. Everyone's bragging about getting a jab. It's stupid. But I went to like the main hub just for the fun of it, because it's like the closest thing to traveling that I reckon you can do in lockdown is going to like the Contagion Vaccination Hub in Western Sydney.
The big one.
And I went there, and I went with a friend, and her household, because she lives with these older people, right? They made her wear like a face mask and a face shield, and I had to wear one too going to this hub. And we went in, and everyone's like looking at us like we're like going to the midnight screening of Avengers, dressed up as dressed up as like the essential workers is so embarrassing. But I mean, it's terrible. The vaccination, it's makes you feel so horrid. Have you guys got it?
Did you feel bad?
Yeah, I got the first dose of AstraZeneca. I woke up in like a pool of sweat and stuff like that.
Oh, really? Okay. Because
I reckon, you know how people think that they're putting microchips in the jab? I reckon it's not that. I reckon they're putting like.
Wait, what? Is this a? What do you mean?
Never heard this take. It's fresh take.
Well, they reckon it's got something to do with Bill Gates. I reckon they're putting, because I was like shivering. I reckon they're putting like some coolant fluid in there to make you believe the climate change narrative.
Right.
Okay. Right.
Yeah.
The stuff that's in a PlayStation 5 to stop it from overheating. They inject some of that.
Yeah,
in.
they put that in you so you believe that the world's getting hotter.
Right. Well, like a sunny boy, like a bit of a sunny boy in it. Right. Okay. I got my first dose of the vaccine yesterday, and I felt a bit ashamed because, you know, I'm very much like, yeah, everyone should get the fucking jab, and I'm like, and then people are like, have you got yours? And I'm like,
long.
No, taking me fucking forever to do it. I've rocked up, somehow I fucked up getting it twice. I've rocked up twice and they've just gone, nah, you can't have it. So I finally got it yesterday, and it was bad. First of all, it was bad because I thought, you know what, I've heard all these stories about people feeling, you know, not that great afterwards. So I thought, I can't do my exercise after it. I'll do my exercise before it. So then I ran to to get the vaccine. So I got in my running clothes and I thought, I'll just jog there. And then I fucked around. And then I was like really going to be running late for it.
Oh,
so that meant I was just running, getting faster and faster and sprinting. And then I was like getting to all these hills. And I'm like, fuck. And I'm just so wrecked and so ruined from it. So then I get into the vaccination. I'm just like covered in sweat already.
Turning up to a medical center, just hot.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Good look.
Yeah. Just pissing sweat and panting and whatever. And they're going, oh man, you need the vaccine bad. You fucking, you're in big trouble. So, and I get in the booth with this woman and I like stink. I stink so bad. And I'm like, just apologize, going, I'm really sorry. And she's like, yeah, we get people like you all the time. I'm like, what does that mean? People like me?
Yes.
And I'm like, no, I've been running. And it, like, you know, I'm like, I've got like tracksuits on and stuff, but it's like, of course, I'm not far away from some pretty narrow areas. So it's like, yeah, of course they get people in tracksuits on. They haven't been running though. They've been like dealing meth and buying meth and stuff like that.
You're there sweating, you're in a tracksuit. They think you don't want the vaccine. You're just a big fan of the needle. Just anything that's
Yeah, exactly.
Sign me up.
I haven't read the fine print. I'm just in for a jab of any form. It'll feel good. So I
That's
so
crazy
I get
to
it.
think that some people are addicted to the needle.
Yeah. Treating it like a safe injecting room, just being like, hey, if it's not okay, while you're down there, I've brought my own little vial along with me. Well, it's more of a spoon and a lighter, but you know.
Yeah, just thinking that it's like a safe haven for anything like that. So there's people doing lines in there as well while they're there. It's like, you can just do whatever.
Yeah, it's a safe.
This is international waters for drugs. Yeah.
You can't get more of a safe injecting room than the vaccination clinic. That's a safe bet.
Just sucking on a big old bong in there. Fuck, that'd be awesome.
Yeah.
So I went there. I got the first dose, and then like I felt fine. Jogged home. I was like, man, and then then I get a bit of competitiveness in me. I get home and I'm hearing all these stories about everyone else suffering, and I'm like, I'm actually feeling better. I'm actually feeling better than usual. I've I can take this. I could probably do with another couple of doses, to be honest. Like I'm fine. Like let's see how many doses I can cop before I feel sick. And so I was good all day. Like right towards the end of the day, I felt a tiny little bit of pain in my arm, and that was it. I was like, "Fuck, I fucking clocked this." And then I went to bed, and then I reckon I lay in bed I was like a waking coma. I laid in bed for 3 hours, and I just not only could I not get to sleep, there wasn't even a possibility of getting to sleep. There wasn't even but I wasn't even uncomfortable or whatever. It was just, I was just like in a waking coma, just lying in bed for 3 hours going, well, this is my life from now on. I'm a person that doesn't sleep. I just lie in bed all night, every night.
This isn't a side effect I've heard of at any point with AstraZeneca. It sounds like you're accusing them of injecting you with a Red Bull or something.
Yeah. But I don't know what the fuck was going on. I don't know what. So I was just lying there without even, when you can't get to sleep and you get really annoyed and you sort of toss and turn or whatever.
Yeah.
It was like one of those sensory deprivation tanks. I just laid in the same spot for 3 hours whilst being awake and just going, this is just what I do now. I'm just like in a live coffin. I'm just lying still with my eyes open, just thinking about not even that much. So then I looked at the clock and it was like 3:30 in the morning. And I was like, right, I've got a child. It's going to wake up probably in 2.5 hours. I was like, I reckon it's probably in my best interest to try to get to sleep now. So I was sitting there and you know that great trick when you try to get to sleep?
Yes.
So I'm sitting there willing sleep on.
Counting sheep.
And then I was thinking, counting sheeple. And I was sitting there thinking, fuck, how do I do this? And then I'm thinking, well, I've been here for 3 hours awake. This dose, this vaccine has obviously done this to me. This is some sort of side effect. So even if I get to sleep, I wonder what's going to happen. Like, surely it's going to be weird. And then I started thinking, what's the worst? I bet I'm going to have nightmares. What's the worst thing I can think of that I'm going to think about in my dreams? And I was like, right, the worst nightmares I ever have.
Yeah, just
exactly.
Mind, get it ready. Give your brain, give your subconscious a bit of inspiration. Yeah.
Absolutely. I just got the writer's room interaction. And then I just thought my worst nightmares are always like just ex-girlfriends and old relationships and stuff like that. And then somehow like coming back or unfinished business with that sort of thing.
Wait,
so I just started thinking.
Worst thing you can think of is like ex-girlfriends. It's not like ghouls with heads missing. They're going to come eat you.
No, well, how are they going to eat me if they don't have heads, for starters? So yeah, I can think of worse stuff than that. No, but I never dream about stuff like that. I'm only saying like this is the worst thing I ever dream of. I don't have science fiction dreams or anything like that. That's the worst thing I dream of, like that, like old relationships and stuff like that. So I'm thinking about that going, well, now that I've got that clear in my head, I've decided that is the last thing that I want to happen from now on. Cue 3 hours of nightmares about old relationships and ex-girlfriends and unfinished business and all that sort of stuff. I'm going fucking nuts. Like I kept dreaming and then waking up and then dreaming and going, fuck, I hope I don't have another one of them, and then having another one of them. And I'm like, fuck, this drug, this vaccine is like, I started to get why the anti-vaxxers are like that. Like, I get it, you guys out there that don't want the jab. Like, if you're going in with some troubles in your ex-relationships, maybe push it back a while. Maybe push it back a few years, I reckon, until you get that resolved in your head, until you fix those relationships in some way.
Carl, you're wearing a hat. Yeah. We can see you're wearing a hat. Is the end of this story going to be you pull the hat off and you've shaved your head in the middle of the night because you couldn't sleep? I need to get the bad memories out.
Well, that's the other thing. And also, look, the one little part of the story that I didn't include that I realized halfway through the night when I couldn't sleep is I did have a full 1.25 litre bottle of Pepsi at about 10 o'clock at night. So then I started not blaming the vaccine halfway through the night, to be honest.
This is a 10-year-old at a sleepover. Just like sugary drink before bed, the fear about never being able to get to sleep. So are we to believe that is this what you're saying essentially, that the worst nightmares you've ever had are just about ex-girlfriends? Those are the worst like, sleep nightmares you've ever had. Yes. So you've never had someone's chasing you with a knife, you're on a plane that's crashing. Really?
No.
Really?
Yes.
That is wild.
So you're when you're like trying to run in a dream and you can't move and you're trying to run, it's just from an ex. No, I can't move because I'm trying to chase the ex and she's running and I can't run. That's the nightmare. I'm like, take me back.
So Carl Chandler's in the dream. He's on the plane. The plane's going down. The oxygen masks are falling from the roof of the plane. You're not fussed at all. And then the girl sitting next to you goes, I think we should talk. And then that's when it becomes, that's when you're waking up in the cold sweat at that moment. Right.
Exactly. I don't want to die whilst being dumped. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
I'm starting to think your ex-girlfriend's nightmares are much scarier than yours.
Yeah, Carl has nightmares about them leaving. They have nightmares about him coming back.
Yeah. You can't. The rule is you can't get an AVO if you're in a dream. Like, you can't be stalked if you're in a dream. Okay,
Yeah.
So nothing can happen to me.
Carl turning up as Freddy Krueger in people's dreams and being like, "Can we just talk? Like, give me another chance."
Yeah, there was a lot of that going on last night, Tommy. There was a lot of that sort of stuff going on.
Wow. And were these like kind of based on, like, were these kind of like true to life ex relationships that you were dreaming, or was it kind of like fictionalized amalgamation of like a couple of different ones, or like how realistic were they?
No, they're pretty realistic. There were real people involved. But there were dreams about stuff I never did. I was going through people's mail at different stages. There was a lot of mail sifting.
Going through mail.
I don't know what the fuck was going on.
Yeah, this is a side effect.
But let's be clear. Let's be clear that I blame this all on Pfizer. This is not my own actions. The good people at Pfizer have done this. I'm not responsible for any of that behaviour.
I had
So go get vaccinated. Get that done.
Yeah. It's an important. Yeah, I had my second dose of Pfizer on Friday, and on Saturday I had the chills, had the nausea, was copping it pretty bad, and thought, God, it doesn't get any worse than this. But yeah, at least all the X's were staying locked away in deep recesses of the brain where they.
Exactly. Give me that, Tommy. Whatever dose you got, I'll have that for the second jab. Thanks. I don't want this one to happen again.
This 2 liters of Pepsi that you were drinking.
1.25 liters. Thank you.
1.25 liters. So did you go get like 4 cups of Pepsi,
Yes.
one after the other? Okay.
Yes.
At no point you were like, I reckon.
Yeah.
Full of Pepsi.
Look. Yes, there was a point, and that was at the end of the Pepsi. There was that point right at the end where I felt more acid than man just before I went to sleep. But I haven't done this for a long time. I haven't had like cola before I go to bed for a long time. You know those times when you do
because you're an adult and you learn. What do you mean a long time? Like 40-something years because you learned that it keeps you awake.
No, but you know how sometimes you just need to you need to hit the books again. That's what I did last night. Like, you wouldn't know all your algebra right now. You need a bit of a refresher course. Well, that's what I did last night. I was refreshed by the Pepsi, but I did get the refresher course as well. So I won't do that again for a little while. Yeah. Especially, it's not a good cocktail, Pepsi and Pfizer. Don't mix your drinks like that. I wouldn't recommend.
What made you drink the Pepsi last night?
You know that thing where you like haven't had something for a long time? Like, I feel like once a year I'll get Pizza Hut. Just, I know it's no good.
You got to check in.
You got to check in.
Yeah.
You get that little sort of like something bad for you, a little booty call, little, something, but you just do it once a year and that's okay. Well, that's what I felt like last night. I haven't had Pepsi in forever. And now I reckon I'll go another 2 to 3 years without having it.
Okay.
Were you one of those teenagers who drank like a 4-liter bottle of Coke?
No, I hated those people. No, I hated those people, Danielle. I lived with a guy.
I lived with 1.25 for you.
Yeah. It's the limit. That's where I draw the line.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The only difference between you and them is a glass.
Yeah. A mug, thank you. A mug. Yeah.
That's
so
much worse.
I live with a guy. Like that would keep a 3-liter bottle of like Coke under the seat in like a share house, under the couch. He'd just be sitting there and he'd dig his hand under and just pull out a 3-liter, and it'd be there for days. I'm like, this makes me fucking sick.
Awesome. Wants the convenience of a little bar fridge, but doesn't have the money to get it. So it's just like the best thing.
And it's flat.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I want to have 3 liters of Pfizer a day.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want to keep it rolling. I want to have those bad dreams. What about you, Danielle? Do you have any bad nightmares or anything? Any weird? Have you had the vax yet?
No, I'm booked in for it, but I haven't had it yet. But my family are, I don't know, they're not keen. Well, I mean, my mum is. She's had it, and so is her partner. But my nana and granddad aren't. Nana's Nana doesn't know what's happening because she went to a doctor and she had breast cancer like 2 years ago, and her doctor said don't get the Pfizer because it can make your boobs bigger.
What? But
I don't know.
Okay, 3 doses for me, please.
Yeah, I mentioned before I'd had the Pfizer. I probably didn't need to say that because you guys can probably tell from the big natties that you can see in the Zoom window right now.
Yeah. I'm just sorry guys, I'm just rebooking my wife's second dose right now as we speak. I think we might change from the AZ actually.
Fucking hell.
Right, okay.
So your nan,
so
that scared her off?
She reckons she's going to get AstraZeneca now, but Granddad thinks it's all he sort of thinks it's an experiment, and so he's not keen on it.
Okay.
Right.
And also, apparently, one of their friends who's a twin got the AstraZeneca, and then about 14 days later had a stroke, and she thinks that that's related to the AstraZeneca because they have, like I said, they're a twin, and the other twin didn't get vaccinated and did not have a stroke. And out of the two twins, the one who had the stroke seems like they would be healthier. So that's what Nana reckons.
Okay.
Oh wow. Okay. So did they know what the twin drank before they had the vax and then the stroke? Did they?
Yeah, 1.25 liters Pepsi.
Whoa. Okay. All right. I think there should be a lot more, anti-soda people out there than anti-vax. I think we're finding out the real problem here.
So the rest of the family, where do they stand on the vax? Are they? Because if this might be some people's first time listening to the show or hearing you on the show, Danielle.
Also,
talked a lot about your family history on the program before.
Also, run me through the thought process of, okay, if your grandma's had breast cancer and then they said your breasts get bigger, that doesn't mean how does that work? Like, that doesn't mean the cancer gets bigger. The cancer's gone.
Apparently, it's got something to do with the nodes. Like, I don't know if the nodes get bigger. I looked it up and it doesn't seem to be a scientific study. It seems to be a lady on TikTok has said her boobs have gotten bigger, and somehow that's filtered to the doctor, and the doctor has told my Nana.
Right.
Great.
So what's her TikTok handle?
I think I saw a video about this on RedTube, not on TikTok. But yeah, it's starting to ring a bell.
That'll be great in a few years' time. Coronavirus, the porn parody. There's a whole scene. There's a whole scene about the Pfizer jab making your boobs bigger. But where does the rest of the family stand on the vax and the pandemic in general, Danielle?
So your granddad, Danielle, for starters, your granddad. Now you've talked about him before. Now this man who thinks that it's all an experiment. This is also the man that records all of the information he needs to remember on white goods. He writes it all down on fridges and freezers, things that he needs to remember. That's right, isn't it?
Yes, that's 100% correct. There's a big sign on one of the fridges that says "No vaccine for me." Everybody else is keen on it. They've had it done, but not Nana and Granddad. No, my mum's partner though. He's big into the vaccines and stuff. But we got into an argument when I was up there, not about the vaccine, but over the fact that we both. Okay, so I said aliens exist, and he said aliens exist too. But the
hang on. I love it. I love this side of your family where you're the voice of reason, and you open with aliens exist, and it gets weirder from here. Love it.
So we're talking about aliens, and then my mum's partner. The argument we had was that I said aliens exist, and if they exist, then they've probably been to Earth. And then he says that aliens definitely exist, but they've never been to Earth.
Right.
Okay.
The reasoning.
So who are we barracking for with this one? Who's the crazy person?
Obviously me.
Okay, right.
Because if they exist, why wouldn't they have been here? I don't know. He reckons that they definitely don't have the technology to come to Earth, and that in all the movies he's seen, about aliens and stuff, why are they things that his brain can comprehend?
Right. Okay.
Okay. Right.
But
Yeah.
they're movies that we made. Anyway,
Yeah.
that was something that annoyed
Right.
me
Yeah.
recently. I've been
Yeah.
thinking about it for a month straight.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
the only stimulus I've had since coming
Yeah.
out.
Yeah. Well, any argument is good as if you completely base it on something that is on record made up. It is an actual. That's why it's called science fiction.
Well, talking about the getting the jads and everything. Now we've been cracking wise on the show recently about getting the jab and people making the joke on social media about how it gives you about how you've now got 5G. So guys, I just want to say thank you for I can't tell what it's like on your end, but I've mentioned this on the show before. I've moved house not that long ago and I have shocking internet in this new house. It's made doing the pod very difficult. My modem here is like a modem with just like a 4G SIM card in it. It's fucking dog shit. So I called up a internet company yesterday to try and get 5G home internet, and that's happening. So that's coming in tomorrow. So this will be the last time I have to put up with this shitty connection. I hope it's been okay. But so yeah, got the 5G coming. I've officially got 5G coming into the house. And this internet company I called up there, I won't name them, but they're a phone provider. And I was talking to the guy and he gets it all set up. And then he goes, I can just see in the system here that you used to be a customer with us a little while ago. You terminated your account in 2018. Why was that? And I go, I left to go to a competitor because I was traveling a lot overseas at the time, and you guys don't have very good global roaming stuff, and this other company did. So I just moved over to them because of that. And I thought this was a fucking insane piece of upselling, just masterful stuff. He goes, could I convince you to sign back up with us today, potentially? And I go, oh, no, I'm not really interested in changing my mobile phone plan. I'm pretty happy with the people that I'm with. And he goes, yeah, but you said you signed up with them because of their global roaming. And when's the next time you're going to be going overseas? Like, fuck, there's not a lot of argument back to that, is there?
Yeah. Great. Very nice.
Yeah. I was like, all right, yeah, I guess give me the spiel, mate. I kind of can't really run anywhere. I just ended up having to hang up. I was like, I'm too scared to. He's got me into a corner here. So I don't know. Anyone who works in sales, works in commish. Try and if you can try and wedge some kind of pandemic-induced kind of gear into your sales pitches. That's the trick.
Yeah, that's great. That's great. Yeah, I wonder if anyone's got. Yeah, I wonder how much global roaming is actually happening at the moment. Well, I guess everywhere else is like open now, isn't it? It's only Australia that's really not open, isn't it?
Yeah, more or less. I mean, certain parts of the world, I guess you're still pretty locked up, but yeah, they're having a good old time over there in Europe at the moment.
Are you guys in deep lockdown in Melbourne? Are you guys really locked down in Melbourne?
Yep.
Yeah. Well, it's not the lockdown like you guys have got up in Sydney. We're actually, things are shut.
So can you go clubbing in the lockdown?
Well, yeah, I mean, we've done, we did the big one last year, and we're in, another, ending up being a slightly longer one than we all thought at the moment. And I'm going to do this as a public service announcement because we've, a lot of us here in Melbourne, and I'm sure other parts of the world too, we've burned through a lot of stuff on Netflix. You're kind of rapidly running out of things to keep yourself occupied. And in my old apartment, I couldn't really see. I didn't really feel like I could see many other people around me. I couldn't really see many other apartments from where I was. But now in this new house, we've got a lot of like apartment buildings around us. It's all pretty crammed in. We can kind of see our neighbors out there a lot. And the other night, my girlfriend was in the kitchen getting some ice cream while we were watching a movie. And from the kitchen window, she goes, "Oh my God, I can see two people doing it doggy style in the window of one of these apartment buildings." So I run over to get a look, and by the time I get there, enough time has elapsed where this couple has realized, oh, we're too close to the window, we've got to back it up. So look, if you're out there, if you're in a lockdown in one of these cities and you've got these exhibitionist tendencies, just hang out near the window and do what you got to do. You know what I mean? It's like there's people that have run out of things to watch, they've run out of video games to play, they need a bit of gossip in the household.
having said that, don't do it too often because you don't want to run the risk of that happening again and you getting up and going, oh, fuck, I've seen this one. do another position. Do something else.
Mix it up. Stand in the window. One of you's dressed as Joe Exotic. The other's dressed as Carol Baskin. You know, do like do window rooting theme nights, you know?
What's wrong with anal? What's wrong with you guys?
I did love getting the call to arms from my girlfriend and specifically the position getting called out as well. I like that. If she'd just said, I can see a bit of missionary happening in the window, I don't know if I would have bothered getting off the couch, but I'll tell you what, I was over there like a bat out of hell.
Yeah. I do like the term. I can see two people doing a doggy style. Oh, not just the one, not just the old solitaire doggy style.
Jerked off earlier. Jerked off doggy style earlier.
I jerked off like a dog would jerk off. You know, like that. That's happening in the window right now, Tommy. Go and have a look. Well, Danielle, you talking about your grandma and your granddad. So I believe that. So you said you'd just been up there to see them a while back. Now, was this a research trip? Does this ringing a bell properly in my own head? Did you go up there as research for some sort of book or some sort of maybe recording or something? Because I think you said to me you wanted to. Your granddad is so full of like all these crazy memories and crazy stories that you want to get them all down before you know he forgets them or whatever. Is this what this trip was for?
Yeah, I wanted to video him and get him to tell me all his stories and stuff. And when I got up there, he'd already started writing his autobiography. And
like, how many fridges is that?
It's honestly less than the fridges, which is crazy. And so much information that I was like, I don't need that information. What I need is like more stuff about you. He told me how deep the well was in his book, and that took like half a page, and then there was no information on Nana. It was like, I met a girl from Tully, and that's my wife.
Great.
I can't wait for this book to be released. In 4 formats: audio book, paperback, hardcover, and Westinghouse. That's going to be
It's not as big as a freezer, so it's probably on a toaster or something like that.
Right.
He also had at the start of the book, he wrote like Baz's autobiography, and then the year he started, he wrote like 1952, which is not the year he was born, but it's when his memories start.
Okay.
He wrote it from when his memories start to now.
Yeah. So what age is that then? What age did his memory start?
Like 4 years old.
Okay.
That seems like a bit of a shame. There might have been a few things happen before that, but anyway, okay. I guess they're lost forever.
And then on the inside, the first page of the book is a map of his childhood house because he wanted it to be like a fantasy novel where you get a map of where things happen.
Cool.
Yeah.
At the start of the book.
Yeah, and I imagine in country Queensland in 1952, it's quite an elaborate map. It must have been quite a mansion out on the farmstead. Would have been like one room with a hole in the corner or something to shit in, surely.
Yeah, I think it was 3 rooms because there was 9 children, 2 adults, and everything about it. I love reading it because he goes like, we were sent out. We'd go out for the day and we'd go catch fish in little tins and then like kill rabbits we caught with knives. And once we got older, we were allowed to take the rifle with us around 6.
You're a man now. It's rifle time.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, knives are for babies. What? So is that the official name of the autobiography, Baz's autobiography, or is that just a working title?
No, that's what he's written, and biography is spelt with an F.
Okay,
right. Yeah.
I love it. Yeah.
It's good. It's only up to just when he got married so far, so I left it there for him to continue writing. And I've noticed.
Oh, it's unreleased.
It's I'm sort of his editor at the moment, so we
go
backwards and forwards, like expand on that a bit. Less
I mean,
details on measurements.
Up to you, but I'd work on the title, but that's up to you. I don't want to tell you how to be an editor,
or at the very least, the spelling of the title. Sure.
Yeah.
He also, when I was up there, one of my favorite things that happened was we were sitting around the campfire having a nice campfire, and my cousin asked him to play the harmonica for us, and Granddad said, "All right, go get me the harmonica." And then my cousin came back and he'd pulled the harmonica out of its sheath and handed my granddad the unsheathed harmonica. And then my granddad started yelling at him and said, "You never touch another man's harmonica."
There we go. That's the book title.
Yeah.
That's the book title.
Yeah. Never touch another man's harmonica. Shades of Tim Allen, never stand too close to a naked man.
Yeah. There we go.
He can't even play the harmonica.
Yeah, that's a genuine good book title. Lead with that, I reckon.
Yeah.
Is there any in your opinion as the editor? Is there any, if Baz was going to sort of leak out his book to, say, a Saturday newspaper, a weekend newspaper, they pull out like the best story or something that's going to grab some attention. Is there anything in there that would make it into the Courier Mail on a weekend up there at the moment, or?
Yeah, I reckon partly that story I've told you before about the man in the middle of the road. But there's another story that he talks about my nana's uncle's son. I don't know what that is. What is that?
Yeah.
My nana's uncle's son, whatever. Family member. They lived on the same property. And a friend of the family member, his wife, the landowner, had a crush on her. And so he would like come around and try and flirt with her. And one day he was over there flirting with her, and our family member got home, and they got into a fight, him and the landowner. And the landowner went and got an axe and started saying, like, "I'm going to kill you." And then Nana and Granddad and everybody heard the commotion from their property and came up, and they started wrestling the axe off him and then just threw it into the bushes. And then they were like, "Go home, go home, go home." And then the guy went and got a gun out of his car and came back, and they started then trying to wrestle the gun.
Hang on. Was the guy like 6 years old then?
7. That's gun age. 7's gun age.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so the family member and the guy who wanted to kill him both started pulling the gun upwards, and Granddad started pulling the gun downwards. And apparently they shouldn't have all three gotten in the scuffle. And then the family member's ankle got shot off. And then when they all tell this story, because I heard my mum tell this story too, Granddad and my mum both said that his wife started screaming, and they were all like, anyway, the wife, she was being hysterical.
I like that he constantly has more weapons in the car.
Yeah.
Yeah, so then after that, he went and got his throwing stars.
It's
Anyway,
like GTA.
For some reason, whenever I ask any of these stories, because Granddad's got like 8 stories that all end in like pretty big crimes.
Yeah.
I'm like, "Did you tell the police?" And he's always like, "Nah, I didn't tell the police. Don't get the police involved."
Yeah.
And then that's why my mum went to boarding school, because she was worried that man was going to come back and murder everybody.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Didn't even want any higher education. Didn't want to get a job. Just needed protection.
Yeah, she said she used to sleep under her bed after that happened.
The perfect crime. The perfect disguise.
I
Come in. That's what murderers always do. They come in, they check the top of the bed. If no one's there, they walk out. They never think to check under it.
Yeah, I mean, look, a guy coming back to murder is pretty scary, but it's nothing compared to an ex-girlfriend coming back into your life. I mean,
Exactly.
Shit up, come on.
Yeah, and this is back. Your grandma probably never even tasted Pepsi back then. So these are the good old days.
Some people have real traumas they're dealing with.
Yeah.
Was the wife flirting back, or it was unreciprocated flirting?
Well, I mean, they say it was unreciprocated flirting, but you never know, do you?
Yeah.
Because it's just
Yeah.
one word against the other.
But it was pretty over when he shot the ankle off. Like that was done by then, right?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
that's a boner killer for sure. Absolutely.
Yeah. That's a deal breaker and an ankle breaker. Yeah, for sure.
I'm picturing in my head. It's sort of like the Three Stooges Down Under, like three people in the bush wrestling over a gun, and then one of them gets shot. Like that's like
Yeah.
I'm picturing it like deep, like black and white, grainy footage, old style film.
Yeah. I'm speaking of family. I'm very loath to talk about this stuff on the show, but because I I've always been scared of being the person who has a kid and then comes and goes, oh, my baby did the darndest thing. So I try and keep away from all that sort of stuff. But so my little daughter, Blanket, is as we call her on the show. People always tell me, they'll say, how old is your kid? I'll be like 2.5. Oh, that's a fun age.
Don't
like,
people
what's the
call
fun
the
age?
terrible twos?
Oh yeah, I guess as well. Yeah, I guess people don't know what the fuck's going on. But I get both of those things. Yeah. But the good thing is that they're learning a lot right at the moment. They're like little sponges. They're she's learning a lot. You'll say stuff, she'll hear it, and bank it away, and then bring it up again like 2 days later or whatever. So it's fun to see what she'll come up with. Now, I got very excited this week. The reason I'm bringing it up is I got very excited because now I'm getting to this point where she'll say stuff and I'll be like, oh fuck, is that ahead of her reading age, or is that ahead of like what she should be doing at the moment? Like, have I got a fucking genius? Like what I never really know what they're supposed to be doing. I don't have a chart of like when they're supposed to have conversations or when they're supposed to be able to climb up on the bed or when they're supposed to do anything. I don't know whether she's ahead or behind. And I always think, fuck, I should check this up, but I don't know how to check it up. But 2 days ago, she was sitting to the table and she turned to me and said, and she'd never said this phrase before. She said, Daddy, what's the time? And I just laughed and I was like, what do you need to know the time for? What have you got on? Like, what are you late for? Nothing.
Yeah.
Shitting your pants.
Yeah.
So
I got a tea party with Polly Pocket to get to. Come on.
Yeah. It's like she doesn't even watch free-to-air TV. She's not missing out. It's all Netflix. So it's not like she even needs to know that sort of stuff.
Oh no, she thinks Coco Melon's on at a specific time. She doesn't know. She doesn't quite know the ins and outs of how streaming works.
Oh no. She knows Coco Melon's on whenever she screams for it. Don't worry. Okay, yeah, that's not it. Right. She's a big one on that one. So I just laughed. She goes, Daddy, what's the time? I just laughed. And then she points to our clock and then says, it's 3 o'clock. And it is dead on 3 o'clock. And I'm like, what the I'm pretty sure, like, she's 2.5. I'm like, this is fucking insane. This is not what kids know at like 2.5. Like, I'm positive I didn't know how to read Roman numeral clock until I was in, I don't know, grade 3 or something.
Oh, big boast. Like, got the Roman numeral clock in there.
Yeah. Oh, not only that,
Daddy,
I don't even have
clock.
Roman numerals on my clock. No, I didn't even have one of them. I have a clock that has nothing on it. It's just got the hands.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm like, how fucking smart is my kid? She's not even dealing with any of the Roman numerals. She's dealing with the fucking simplistic clock that you read after you've learnt the Roman numerals and you work backwards and you're cool with it.
Yeah.
That's a clock I got from Lawrence Mooney as a wedding present when we put on the invitation. Please give money into our well for our honeymoon as cash. And in his words, Lawrence Mooney said, I'll fucking give you whatever I want, and then gave us a clock. So,
by the way, when you say Roman numerals, do you mean just like numbers, right? Because Roman numerals are like, IX, III, like
yeah.
Yeah, you see, but okay. So the default clock is like the numbers. It's like 1, 2, 3. The default clock
is it? Well, maybe that's
as a child. You're not
way of
starting off
counting.
on Roman numerals.
Well, I'm a little bit older than you, Tommy, so that's actually what I did start off with. So
then my child
welcome to episode MMXIV of the Little Dum Dum Club.
Then my child pointed at the sundial and she said, "Daddy, it's 3 o'clock."
Yeah. That actually would be better if she was pointing at play school and going, "Oh, 3 o'clock, Daddy." She's memorized the TV guide before she's learned how clocks work.
Absolutely.
That would actually be pretty impressive. Yeah. So she's done that, and I've quickly thought, I reckon I was in grade 2, grade 3 at least before I figured out like Roman numerals and how clocks work without seeing digital. I remember definitely being like, show me digital or fuck off clocks. I'm not interested. This is too hard. Thinking, how the fuck has she picked this up at 2.5? And I'm like, I ring my mum, I ring my wife. I'm like, this is what she's just done. Like, this is insane. My mum gets so excited. And she's like, oh my God, you've got to get vision. You've got to get vision of this again. Like, send me a video of this.
Get vision. This is
vision.
It's also just like her dad's just chugging Pepsi in bed and then wondering why he can't sleep. And it's like, his kid's already smarter than you. Oh, praise to genius.
Hey, I learned last night that 11 o'clock is not Pepsi o'clock, so I'm learning stuff as well. I'm all right.
So time, so like good with time.
Yeah, exactly. So
you're studying the clock at 3 a.m.
Yeah, yes, man, I got a good look at the clock last night. Fucking hell.
3 is a busy hour in the Chandler household. Doesn't matter if it's AM or PM. Stuff's happening.
Yeah. So my mum's like, I get a video of it, so so you can send it to me. And I'm like, oh yeah, you're right. And I'm thinking, well, you know what? I can't like by that time it's like 3:30. I'm like, I'm not going to test her out on, halves.
The halves.
Clearly, yeah. She give her the easy ones, give her the o'clocks and whatever. So I wait till 4 o'clock, and I'm like, here we go. I'm literally sitting there wasting my time and busying her. And,
this is such a lockdown activity, just staring at the clock, waiting for the big answer.
Actually, I didn't.
I like that you call spending time with her busying. Busying myself until it's time to talk to her.
This has filled a few hours, hasn't it?
I didn't realize
so
this,
I
but
spent time with my child until the clock struck. I
didn't realize I've been staring at a clock for 24 hours now. Apparently, I'm just the AMs, the PMs. So I'm like, give her an o'clock. Don't fuck around. So I'm keeping her up. It's nap time, and she's wanting to go to bed. I'm like, no, let's hang out a little bit more. No.
Have some Pepsi.
Then, do what Daddy did, and then I go, great. We'll get the tape of it, and it gets to 4 o'clock. What's the time? What's the time? 3 o'clock. I'm like, no. What's the time? 3 o'clock. So anyway, over the next day, I've now realised that she does not know how to tell the time. She's learnt the phrase, it's 3 o'clock.
3 o'clock, right.
And she just says it's 3 o'clock for everything. She just happened to pull it out at absolutely the best possible time, absolutely out of her ass at 3 o'clock. I've rung everyone I know to tell them that my kid's a genius.
Genius, yeah.
My kid's a fucking idiot.
This is great.
She thinks it's 3 o'clock everywhere at all times.
This is like the saying of broken clocks right twice a day. Your kid's the broken clock.
Yeah. Broken blankets right twice a day.
So you woke her up at 3 a.m. to get the video.
Yeah. I had nothing better to do. I was already up. I might as well get someone else up to talk to me.
What's the time?
Yeah.
Well, I just want to quickly say this. So, one last thing, Aaron. The last time you were on a not live episode of this, we were in the park, and I believe it was the introduction of me launching my Cameo account and doing the bad impressionist as my.
We were outside the stadium, or as Carl would call it, the Coliseum.
Yep.
Yes.
So Danielle,
I believe it was 3 o'clock.
Probably not far off. So Danielle, I had a Cameo account. Or I have a Cameo account where I'm good at bad impressions. So I thought I'm going to start a Cameo account, and no one, people put in requests for me to do impressions. No one can get shitty when they're awful impressions because it does what it says on the tin. I kind of thought this is like the perfect workaround. Me not being very good at impersonating people. And I did it for a bit, but I started to kind of feel like I was I don't know, like kind of scamming people, I guess. Like, 'cause I was getting money for it, and then I was just getting a lot of people be like, you know, can you just do one of Nick Capper or whatever? And I just literally was spending my whole day sitting in my apartment at one point, just doing impressions.
Was that before or after he beat you at the ass?
Yeah, because you should have done a better impression of Nick Capper at the audition. Then you would have earned even more money.
Yeah, it was before, so that's depressing. Yeah.
Also, I love the idea that was the majority of your requests. At one stage, you became a Nick Capper impressionist full time.
Yeah, that's almost basic. That's what the account turned into full time. But I thought,
in lockdown, that's how you're making most of your money. Comedy's disappeared. You're just impersonating Nick Capper.
Yeah, but so what I thought I would do, because we're back in lockdown. You know, there's not as many people rooting in their windows as I would like. We need things to do. I thought I'm going to bring the account back for one day. I'm going to reactivate it for one day. And all the requests I get, I'm going to donate the money to charity. So get on there, make some requests, get some bad impressions done. And then,
what's the date?
All the money for the date. So I reckon, what do you think? I was thinking this Sunday is enough notice for like after this comes out for people to have heard this. And
so that means Sunday. That means
Sunday,
August the 22nd.
22nd. Sunday, August the 22nd. I think that's enough time. What do you reckon? That's enough time to get this out and people to get around to it. I'll have the account on for that day. Send through whatever you want. Send through a person. If you can give me like a person and then kind of something that they're railing off about, and I'll do them all. Hmm?
Danielle, do you want to request we need a bit of sizzle.
Give me a little bit of training here.
I'd like you to request an act out of what you saw your neighbours doing.
Yeah. Can you? What about Nick Capper doing doggy style in the window over from your house?
Okay, who's he doing doggy style with?
Oh, Chenny, your choice.
Again, you got to be specific in these requests, guys. You've got to tell me like which positions each participant is in. You got to give me all the.
What about Nick Capper doing both positions?
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, Nick Capper fucking Nick Capper. Classic.
Okay,
Classic.
Here we go.
Yeah.
Oh wow! I'm loving being fucked like a dog. Yeah, I'm loving fucking you like a little dog. Woof woof. Yeah, oh boy, I'm loving being bent over and being rooted like a little dog. Oh yeah, being a dog is an improvement on how I normally smell. There you go. That's does what it says on the tin. Does what it says on the tin.
And what's your email address for the invoice to go to, Danielle? Just so we know.
So Sunday, August the 22nd. Send me your requests. I'll get them done. I'll try and recreate some of the best ones on the next.
Yeah.
On the next.
Hopefully, that's just my opinion. The more people, the more doggy style with Nick Capper rooting someone in it, the better, in my humble opinion.
Okay, sure. It's okay. You pick the celeb who's rooting Nick Capper doggy style.
All this rooting chat has reminded me of something that happened when I was at home that was not good.
Uh-oh.
Which was
this better not be another grandpa story.
No. I got like I had like a wisdom tooth coming through, and it was bad, and I had to start taking antibiotics, and I had to take them heaps a day. And because my mum used to shove tablets down my throat like I was a dog when I was a kid, because I couldn't swallow tablets. Now that's the only way I can swallow tablets. So I have to like put the tablet between my fingers and shove it right down my throat.
Yeah, make sure your hand doesn't scrape on the cone that you've got around your neck. Yeah.
And my auntie came down to visit, and she walked in and saw me doing it, and then she started calling me, because I have to get quite far down. She started calling me.
Oh my God.
And then she started calling me Knuckles Deep for the whole time I was up home.
Right.
And then she just, every time she'd talk to me, call my boyfriend a lucky boy, and the whole family making me feel really uncomfortable.
How did he react to that? I bet he loved it.
I had to take tablets every 3 hours, and they'd crowd around and watch me do it.
Jesus Christ.
Knuckles, old Knuckles Walker. I love this.
Like it. Knuckles is a cool nickname.
I think it is a cool nickname for a guy, but with that context for a girl, I'm not sure if it's as cool, but
Absolutely.
still, I'll go with it. I'm happy to know someone called Knuckles. I'll take it.
All right, we better wrap it up for another week on the Little Dum Dum Club. Danielle Walker, Aaron Chen, thank you so much for joining us. Chenny, have you got anything you'd care to plug?
Nah, not a thing in the world.
That's awesome, dude.
You're
People
on
can
the
check out
socials. You're on the
your,
socials, Chenny baby.
Check out the special that Aaron made last year, A Life in Questions. Thought it was really, really funny. That's on YouTube, right? People can find that on there. Yep.
Yeah, that's on YouTube.
That was great. That was really funny. So
Yeah, it's
check that out
great.
if you haven't seen it already. Danielle, anything you'd like to plug? You got a pod, don't you? You got a Bachelor Recaps pod?
Yeah, but we stopped doing the Bachelor recaps because we hated it. And then we keep we keep going to start pods, and then stuff happens, and we've started to record anyway. A new podcast will be coming soon, but we need to figure out what it's going to be.
Great
Sizzle.
Yeah,
Great
follow
sizzle.
Danielle
Can't
on
wait.
socials and keep an eye on all that stuff. Sunday, August 22. Get your bad impression requests ready, guys. Thanks very much for listening, and we'll see you next time. See
you, mates.
See you, mates.
See you, mates.